Now, over the past 24 hours, we've seen the media, politicians and commentators in meltdown over Donald Trump's idea to take over Gaza. And it's been fun to watch. Have a look at some of it.
When one thought of the sort of catastrophic iterations of Trump 2.0, this is the kind of stuff that people imagined.
Donald Trump is articulating America's foreign policy here in real time in ways that I don't know to what extent they be checked.
The lexicon that he uses is it's a demolition site. That's a real estate development term. It's the Riviera of the Middle East. That world people will live there. It's going to create thousands of jobs. You're right. He's speaking about it as a real estate developer.
The agency here, right, is the agency of the Palestinian people. Right. Are they going to be frog marched out of their country by U.S. forces as it's then rebuilt as a Riviera by presumably U.S. property developers?
Frog marched. The critics are feeding off misconceptions. They are claiming ethnic cleansing when Trump is speaking about a humanitarian rebuild. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu clarified some of the points on this today, saying this wouldn't be America getting involved in foreign fighting, a point I made last night. He also said America wouldn't be paying for it. Have a look.
Yeah, well, I don't think he talked about sending U.S. troops to complete the job of destroying Hamas. That's our commitment. That's our job, and we're absolutely committed to it. And I also don't think he said that he's going to fund it. He said that neighboring states, wealthy states, would do it. But the actual idea of allowing first Gazans who want to leave, I mean, what's wrong with that? They can leave, they can then come back, they can relocate and come back, but you have to rebuild Gaza.
And Netanyahu also said that he'll work through Trump's proposal, but overall he endorsed it as a good idea.
This is the first good idea that I've heard. It's a remarkable idea, and I think it should be really pursued, examined, pursued, and done, because I think it will create a different future for everyone.
And that end line there, it'll create a different future for everyone. And there does need to be a different future for everyone. Why should Israelis have to live next to terrorists who have vowed to commit October 7 over and over again? Why should any family, Jewish or Arab, Muslim, have to live next to the terror threat? Because this isn't just about Jews. Muslim and Thai hostages were taken on October 7 and were slaughtered as well in the devastating massacre that took place on that dark day. In reality, this isn't about building a Trump tower on the Gaza Strip, although that would be an improvement from underground Hamas tunnels. But this is about encouraging the Arab nations to step up and be part of rebuilding Gaza, free from Hamas. It's a brighter vision than anyone else has dreamt up for the Gaza Strip so far.
Today was one of the great days that we will look back in decades to come and go, this was one of the most amazing days in history. I was thrilled. Unlike the other people you spoke to, whoever they were, Andrew, I was absolutely swinging from the chandelier and cracking the bubbly and saying, this is just an amazing day.
Coastal resorts and condominiums have been a way to wealth and good jobs for lots of third world countries. If Gaza had a leadership that was concerned with the welfare of its own people, it would be trying to do this itself in cooperation with Israel instead of waging these insane Islamist wars all the time against Israel.
And instead of taking the billions of dollars in international aid it has been given over the years and spending it on terrorist infrastructure like tunnels and weapons. Now, Peter Dutton today also praised Trump's vision.
He's a big thinker and a deal maker. He's not become the president of the United States for a second time by being anything other than shrewd. People who dismiss President Trump and say that he's not serious or whatever derogatory comments they want to make, I just think it defies the reality of the gravitas that he brings to the situation.
Director of Strategic Analysis Australia, Peter Jennings, writes in The Australian today that Trump should be admired for wanting to break the cycle of history. And he writes, and I'm quoting here, the idea of turning the Strip into the Riviera of the Middle East is anathema to everything the terror group stands for, including the idea that Gazans might be released from the living hell of Hamas control by being allowed to pick up their lives in a different location. But perhaps that's what's behind all of this criticism and concern. Trump has a vision that just could work with the involvement of the Arab nations, but perhaps the international community, like the United Nations, doesn't want to lift Palestinians out of the endless cycle of poverty, victimhood, and misery.